Hey guys, Key of Shadow, and look! Another fucking Xenoverse 2 video! Are you sick of these as I am? Because goddamn, I'm getting sick of having to find material. I'm getting sick of having material on this fucking game. I want to be able to have material on other games, but god damn it, this game just keeps giving me material to give it shit. Now, phone, shut the fuck up. As you can see, I'm currently doing the latest raid in Xenoverse 2, and I look away for a goddamn second, and already, the bullshit is happening. But okay, as you can see, I'm doing the latest raid in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. You wanna know something funny about this raid? Just like the last raid that I did, it's bullshit! And that's why that's one reason why I just come back after being KO'd, and Goku Black just decides to shove his foot right up my ass. Yeah, that's fun! That's fucking fun! That's really fucking fun! And honestly, all the other problems that I have with this raid are the same problems that I have with literally every other fucking raid in the game.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about me.
Allow me to explain, if you will. So, one of the reasons why raids are bullshit, as I have stated before back in the Fused Zamasu raid, is that they take characters that should not be as busted and overpowered as they are, and then suddenly they're just busted and overpowered in the context of a raid. Now, I get it. Some people are going to say, that's the point of a raid. It's supposed to be hard. But there's a difference between being hard where it's fair, where, yes, it's challenging and it's hard, but it's done in a way to where it's actually fucking fair. There's a difference between that and having something be so absurdly difficult in a way where it's not fair in the slightest. Okay, let's look at this. Goku Black right here is level 99. Okay? Okay. I'm level 92 and I have fought level 99 Ions and such before. None of them have been able to who gang rape me or fucking body me in 1 to 2 hits. That's almost a full health bar right there. That's almost all my health right there. And also, why is he locked onto me? Of all the people he could be locked onto, who in this whole fucking thing, he decides, I'm gonna lock onto this person right here who isn't doing a damn thing to me at all. Huh? Whereas I could be locking onto and attacking people who are actually, you know, shoving things up my asshole. And another thing is, with these raids, they always give the raid boss something that makes it to where you cannot hit them with melee attacks. Whether it be super armor, which makes it completely ineffective, or them just auto-dodging it like fucking Ultra Instinct. Also, that's another thing! They fucking spam! Why do raid bosses spam all the fucking time? Especially spam moves that these characters should not have. I'm under the mentality that if you're going to use a character that players can actually fucking play as, if you're going to use one of those characters as a raid boss, then maybe you should stick with the moveset that character actually fucking has. You know, I could somewhat maybe forgive the other bullshit, the super armor or auto dodging, the fact that they can kill you in 1 to 2 hits. I might be able to forgive that. If the characters were actually using the moves that they fucking had. What the fuck is Beer Store? What the fuck? Seriously, what the fuck is this Pier Store bullshit? Is that the move that he keeps spamming with the spinny blady bullshit? I don't even think the actual Timebreaker character or that you can play as have it. It's a move that's always used for like Timebreaker stuff. But I don't think Timebreaker characters actually have it.
Such power.
I also hate how, okay, I get it, I understand, another thing I understand, the raids are supposed to be a team effort, I get that. But no one is actually playing like a fucking team!
Nice.
Why don't I try and communicate with the people that I play with? Well, for one thing, more often than not, they don't have mics plugged in. And another thing is, no matter what I fucking say, whether I play support or attack or whatever, no matter what I do, even when I'm trying to keep them from fucking dying all the goddamn time, they don't listen. They just keep doing their own fucking thing. I said before that this game was not balanced for PvP. And I stand by that. This game is not balanced for PvP in the fucking slightest. But I was always one of those people that said that this game is balanced for the quests. You know, raids, or not raids, like PQs, you know, stuff like that. And I assumed before, at least, that maybe, just maybe, the game is properly balanced for raids. But it's not even properly balanced for raids because the raids themselves are not fucking balanced. The raids themselves are actually unfair because of things like, oh, you can't hit them with melee attacks, and somehow, they're able to do things like vanish and fly around and all this other shit without using a hit of fucking stamina, even though when you lock onto the raid boss, you can see their fucking stamina bar, and it does not go down worth a damn. The only way you'll see that fucker go down is if somehow, when the planets align, with the right constellation, whatever the fucking bullshit you want to say, by some miracle, you hit the raid boss with a stamina breaking move like God Instructions Anger or whatever the fuck it is that Whis has that does the same thing. And even then, even when they have their stamina broken, and they're in the middle of having their ass beat by either a supernova or any other attack, somehow they are still able to use their Timebreaker spinny blade bullshit, which does not make any sense. These guys do not have super armor, and they do in fact get hurt. They do actually get affected by key-based attacks like ultimates. They do flinch, whereas if they had super armor, they don't. And you're expecting me to believe that even with all of that in mind, while they have no stamina and they are locked in these animations, that they are somehow, able to actually land, actually able to still attack. I'm sorry, but you are full of bullshit if you are actually going to tell me that that is how this works. Because it is very fucking clear that when the people who made this game decided to implement raids into it, that they did not know how the fuck to balance a raid! Raids are supposed to be a team effort. Raids are supposed to be a thing where you whittle them down by fighting with other people. I understand that. But no one actually plays like that in the game when they're doing raids or when they're playing online, unless they're with actual friends, which, believe it or not, people that you made friends with on PlayStation may have other things going on, or maybe they want to play something better than fucking Xenoverse 2. Why am I playing the raid? Why am I playing Xenoverse 2 even though all the friends that I actually play it with are off doing their own thing right now? Because, and you're not gonna fucking believe this, but this raid is possibly the only chance I have at getting the Super Saiyan Rose wig without having to pay up the ass for it. As of right now, as of this recording, while this raid is going on, the only way that you can get the Super Saiyan Rose wig, you know, that accessory that people have been waiting for, is to play this raid and reach, I think, either 50,000 damage or 500,000 damage over the course of a day. Now, I say that's the only way because the other way you could get the Rose wig in the game is if you keep buying the custom costume for Goku, you know, the Journey to the West outfit for Goku, you keep buying that and keep giving it to him until eventually he decides, oh hey, have this.
Get out of my sight!
So basically, no matter how you slice it, each fucking way to get this thing
Get out of my sight!
is to either spend a bunch of medals, which if you don't want to work to grind, you spend an actual money to get them, because, yeah, if you don't remember, microtransactions are a thing in Xenoverse 2, yeah, ever since DLC Pack 5, or rather the free update that preceded it. Why is this guy still locked onto me? I am actively running away from him. I am not attacking him. You think that the AI, you know, because apparently the AI is really fucking simple in this game. You think that, oh, I should be locked onto the person that is actively hurting me.
Out of my sight!
But no. Attack the person that's running for their life. Attack the person that's running away. And then he fucking spam that move a little bit more! Yes! I will continue to rage every time he uses that move because it is so overpowered and it can't be punished. Here, again, you need to properly balance this shit.
Let's back.
I'm getting lightheaded. I'm getting lightheaded from this shit. Just like any other move in any other game that has PvP, or has some kind of custom move set or whatever. My philosophy is, if you're going, okay, here's my thing. Let's say that yes, as I'm one of those people that plays this game competitively. I'm not, but let's say hypothetically I am. If that were the case, and I would say that this game is garbage because there are a lot of moves, either are stuff that you could actually use, or even stuff that just the AI can use, you know, like that spinny blade bullshit. I'm under the belief that any move in a game like this, where a vast majority of the moves can be used by the player, I'm one of those people that's under the impression that if you're going to have a game where about 99% of the attacks that are in the game can be used by the player, then and you should make it to where every technique or every skill in the game can be punished in some way. For example, all ultimates can be punished if you don't use them in the proper timing. Okay, there's this guy talking. But I'm one of those people that believes that every skill... I was on a tangent. If you don't use an ultimate skill properly, or you time it wrong, you can be punished for it with a stamina break, which will mean that you get punished severely, because while you're in a stamina break, you can't really avoid attacks because you have no stamina. You can't avoid them. the moves that seem to be exclusive to like expert mission and bosses or raid bosses, those moves seem to not be able to be punished at all, which is baffling because you think in a game that has 99%, that about 99% or so of the moves in the game can be used by the player, either by playing as the character that owns a move by default or by equipping that move to your character, like your custom character. Then you'd think that there'd be a way to punish all the moves. Like, okay, one move that I will use as an example. One move that I will use as an example that's stupidly broken. Power Rush. A move that was added in DLC Pack 6 that you could get from a PQ. Guess what? That can be punished because you can either miss it fairly easily. Yeah, it's actually quite easy to miss with Power Rush, despite the fact that it's nearly a guaranteed kill. Despite the fact that it's a move that's almost a guaranteed kill, it can be punished because it can miss. Yes, these are little details that can be used to balance out certain techniques. What way is there that you could balance out techniques like, I forgot the name of it, but the timebreaker techniques, like that big technique that shoots the giant blue energy balls, or the thing where, or the move where the enemy disappears and you're just subjected to this move right here, this fucking move that I'm talking about right here. There is no way to punish this. I mean, granted, that's probably why it's not granted, it's probably why it's not a move that can be used by the player. I think. I'm not entirely too sure on that. But there are a lot of moves that can be used by the player that also can't be punished. I just came back and he's already using this move again! I'm just gonna say it now. Raids are bullshit. No matter what the raid is, no matter what the fucking raid is in this game, whether it be the Merged Damasu, or the Hit Raid, or Masked Saiyan, or Zero Mortal, or fucking any of them. All of them are bullshit in one way or another because all of them are broken in the same way. Either the raid boss has super armor, they can auto-dodge, or they just have moves that make it to where you can die almost instantly if you're not playing properly, or if you're just trying to fight. Yes, if you are trying to if you're in the middle of trying to fight this motherfucker, and he just randomly decides, oh hey, I'm going to use this move that's pretty much guaranteed to kill everyone. Then guess what? You wanna hear something? You wanna fucking hear something? Guess what? If that's all that they're going to do, and they have moves that are actively fucking busted, while they themselves are also busted, then the raids aren't gonna be fun! Last I checked, one of the reasons why people play games like Xenoverse, because you know it's not that much of a serious fighting game, one of the reasons why people play it is to have fucking fun! But no! This makes it to where the game isn't fun! It makes it to where the game is just... It makes it to where the game just... isn't fun for anyone. I mean... For fuck's sake. The only way... The actual only way to avoid that move. That move that just killed me again. The spinny blade bullshit. I don't know the name of it, but I'm gonna keep calling it the spinny blade bullshit. The only way to actually avoid from being hit by it is to use your evasive. Which means if you're low on stamina or you're trying to focus on something else, like what I was trying to do, I was trying to focus on healing, on reviving this guy, then you are guaranteed to die. You are guaranteed to fail.
Such power!
No matter how much people whine or complain, no matter how much people say, hey, this isn't balanced properly, nothing is changed. You think with all of the update, you think that with the updates that have happened, like, okay, hey, let's say by some shadow of a miracle, that Bandai or whoever the developer of the game is, heard people's complaints about the raids. Let's say by some miracle, well, they decided to listen. And I would assume that they might have, because there was just because about a week or two ago, there was an update for the game. There was an update for Xenoverse 2, and it was the compatibility update for the DLC because the DLC had already been out for a couple of weeks. But it said that among the things that it said that the update had, like, added some things to the Hero Coliseum, whatever. It also said they added other fixes, like other adjustments. I'm not seeing those adjustments at all. I'm not seeing any change to the game itself as a whole. Not by the mechanics, not by damage output or anything. I am not seeing any change in how the game is actually being played here. And I'm not seeing any change in how certain techniques or anything. I'm not seeing any balance changes. I'm not seeing any buffs or nerfs. I'm not seeing anything. Everything looks the same. I made a male Earthling a few weeks ago, not long after DLC 6 came out, just to see how easy they actually were. And even though all of the stuff that I've seen, that I've heard about male Earthlings being broken, being overpowered, is fairly old information. It's fairly old, like, videos and stuff. They are still just as broken. They're still just as unbalanced. I'll admit, when it comes to stuff like PvP or whatever, I am hot trash. Hell, even when doing, like, story missions and stuff, it takes me, on my other characters, like on my Saiyans, it took me, on certain missions, it took me a relatively decent amount of time to do some missions. Because at least at that point, I didn't know that there were, like, cheesy ways to play those races. But when I got to the male Earthling, I shit you not, I was able to clear some of the more difficult parts of the story and some of the more difficult, side quests in a matter of moments. I'm getting offhand. This was about the raids. And yes, the raids are in fact stupid. They are in fact not fun. They are in fact bullshit, because they are in fact not balanced properly. How would I change the raids if I were given the option? Well, for starters, don't give the raid bosses either, if you're going to give the raid boss insane amounts of health to where it is required for either multiple people to take them on, or multiple attempts to actually stand a chance of even getting anywhere with the raid boss. If you're going to give them insane amounts of health anyways, don't give them super armor or the ability to auto dodge. Another thing, if you're going to use a character, for a raid boss, if you're going to use a character that the person that is playing your game can actively play as, like Rose Goku Black, Zamasu, the Masked Saiyan, Super 17. If you're going to use any of those, what fucking killed me there? If you're going to use any of the characters that the player can actually use themselves, then don't give them moves that that character does not have. No, I'm not saying just stick to the move that that specific version of that character has. Like, I'm not saying that Goku Black, that Rose and Goku Black here should have everything that from his moveset that he has as when you play as him. But if you're going to change the moveset at all for Goku Black, or Rose Goku Black, sorry, then keep it in line with what Goku Black as a whole has. What I mean by that is... Okay, the game just broke there for a second. But what I mean by that is, maybe instead of this spinny blade bullshit move that he has, which isn't an ultimate, by the way, it's that fucking strong and it's not an ultimate, but maybe give him one of the moves that regular Goku Black has. How did he kill me with a grab? He killed me with a fucking grab! Something that should be the weakest damage output that that any character has. This just goes back to what I was saying before about they make the raid bosses bullshit and they just make them too broken. If you're able to be killed by a fucking grab, something that probably has the lowest amount of physical damage possible in the goddamn game for any character, not just Rose Goku Black, but for every fucking character, if the raid boss is able to kill you with just a fucking grab, that's showing how busted they are. I also love how, even though we're not able to hit him with melee attacks, like combos, or if we are able to hit him with strike attacks, it's only strike ultimates. But I love how we're not able to hit him with melee attacks.
Such power!
Yeah, he's able to combo us to the moon! I will say, I've said this before with raids, and I will say it again for every raid that either comes out or any raid that I decide to participate in. The raids are not properly balanced. In order for these raids to actually be enjoyable, you either need to spice them up with some special rules, like, let's say let's use the Merged Zamasu raid as an example. And this actually examples that I got from Stedoge or Stedoge, or I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he's someone who typically plays a lot of Xenoverse 2 on his channel, and this is something that he's brought up. He's brought up at the raid that he's ranted about the raids, now not about balance issues, I don't remember all too well, but he ranted about the shitty raid rewards, and how the raids themselves feel pretty much the same, which I agree with him. The raids feel the same. All the raids, even if you change the character, the raids themselves feel the same because they function in the exact same way. So, with using the Merged Zamasu raid as an example, Merged Zamasu in that raid had super armor. What if, now bear with me here, what if the super armor was made ineffective by someone, let's say just one person in the party, in the raid party, plays as Vegito Blue. Or let's say, if we're going to use this example, let's say just for the person who's playing Vegito Blue, if we're not going to use that whole only one person needs to do it for it to work for everyone thing. Let's say the person using Vegito Blue who is somehow able to get past the super armor, which means when he hits Fuse Zamasu reacts as if he is being hit. Or let's say someone is using Sword of Hope. Then in that case, then the super armor would also be made ineffective. If the character Fuse Zamasu would still act as if he is being hit. I talked about this with a friend of mine last night, and he said, or maybe it was the night before, I don't exactly remember, but he said, well, if people did that, then everyone would just play as Vegito Blue, or everyone would just use Sword of Hope. Well, yeah, that might be true. It would also make things different. It would also spice things up, make things even a bit more interesting. Especially if it's not information that's well known. Especially if it's information that people had to find out through some odd means. Like, let's say they were just experimenting, and like they randomly just decide, oh, I'm going to play as Vegito Blue. Or let's say they accidentally use Sword of Hope when they meant to use something like Supernova or Super Kamehameha. And then they discover, oh, hey, this actually negates the super armor. Not only would that spice things up, but that would also kind of help add on to the whole idea of raids being a thing where you contribute in order to defeat the raid boss. Because guess what? If it's not information that's made public by Bandai or the developers, and it's found out by a player just by randomly experimenting, because in the Fuse Zamasu raid, I saw people playing as Vegito Blue. But after someone finds it out, they would spread the information. It would especially be effective if it was someone who was, as you know, really big in the Xenoverse community, like Steedoge or Bruckle or whoever the fuck else. If they were the ones to pass on this information, then guess what? That would be them contributing to the community in order to help get over the boss. God damn it. Connection error, of course, because everyone fucking died. But yeah, if it was those people that got that information out, then guess what? That would kind of add on to the idea of you have to contribute with each other, you have to cooperate in some way or another with each other in order to succeed.
There you can enjoy explosive figure battles using the
And again, it would spice up the raids.
You've got all kinds of hero
It would
figures
make
at your
things
disposal, and
interesting.
You can use and combine them in any way you see fit.
I think there was a raid. I think there was fuck. I'm trying to think. There was I believe there was a Super 17 raid, like a while back, like closer to when the game came out, that I wasn't able to experience because I didn't have a PS4 when the game came out, and I didn't have PlayStation Plus. But judging from the fact that Super 17, well, he's not a big bulky character like Fuse Zamasu or Broly, so I'm assuming that he had auto dodge rather than super armor. What if, when you went into that raid and you picked Super Saiyan 4 Goku, that, I don't know, maybe it made it easier, or maybe it made it to where he couldn't auto dodge anymore, at least for the person that was using Super Saiyan 4 Goku. My point in all of this is, the raids are dull because they all function exactly the same. The only thing that's different is the face that they decide to put on the raid, which for this raid, the Zero Mortal plan, and it's Goku Black and Zamasu. But every single raid functions in exactly the same way. It's not fun. And it doesn't help that they're balanced poorly. The raids are balanced so poorly that I bet even if they did do that thing, even if they did do something to spice it up, like maybe they did decide, oh hey, we're actually going to use moves that this character actually had instead of giving them moves that would make them impossibly unfair, or oh hey, let's use let's use Final Form Mira from the story mode, you know, do that shit. Or just something interesting like that. Okay? Because with Final Form Mira, you can't play as him, and you know what moves he has because he's a story villain. Yeah, that's the thing I didn't think of up till now. How Merge Zamasu who was the final boss of the story of, I think it was DLC Pack 4? Yeah, DLC Pack 4. Corrupted Merge Zamasu was the final boss, and he didn't have a lot of the moves that were used. I think he had that stupid spinny blade move that pretty much every fucking raid boss has now. And yet, I believe he's still... But you know what moves Merge Zamasu has because you fought him before. If you have the DLC, you've fought him before. And I'm pretty sure everyone has the DLC at this point because... Well, at this point, I haven't fought anyone who doesn't have at least the super deal. We're already dead. This is one of the things I was talking about with bullshit balancing with the raids. If the raid boss is able to defeat everyone in a matter of 31 fucking seconds, then you have a problem. I've been the Key of Shadow, and I'm fucking sick of this shit.